Hey everybody, welcome to Sketchless, and welcome to our second OC redraw video. This time, Sydney took the reins on this one, and let's get started, shall we?
Alright.
Alright, so tell me about what you picked here. What was your OC that you...
I picked, actually a Gemsona from Steven Universe.
Okay.
It's Lilac Pearl by Blue Panda, with 3 A's and an H.
Yeah, so their name is Blue Panda. We'll have all their information, like their DeviantArt and stuff, down below. They actually have some really cool stuff. They have other Gemsonas too. But right off the bat, I see her Gemsona. I think she has pretty good technique already.
Yes, of course.
She has a lot of skill already.
Of course.
And her posing's a little bit stiff.
Which I found, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, her posing seems a little bit stiff, but like her overall technique and like the cleanness of her like style looks pretty good. So I'm interested to see what you make of it. So, right off the bat, I see that you went with a completely different pose and you made her hair more flowing. You put way more volume in it. And what inspired you to go with this kind of ballet kind of look?
Well, because Pearl in the show is more ballet, and all of them are, I wanted to go with a more ballet look, because whenever they had the shoes, they had heels on them. And I felt like ballerinas don't wear heels, so...
Oh yeah, she did have heels, didn't she?
And I was listening to ballerina music for 2 hours.
Really? Okay, so you're kind of getting in the zone for this one. I gotcha. But like, overall, like, I'm already digging your... what route you took with this piece here. Kind of, you basically took her design, you didn't change it too much, you kept pretty true to it so far, and you just kind of cleaned it up a bit. And I like that. And you added movement to something that, like, she has a flowing look to her, and you added movement, and I think it really needed that. And I can kind of see, like, how she's standing, that you did add a little bit of weight to, like, it looks like she has some weight on her back foot. You did a good job with that. So let's see here. But are you going to change the color scheme at all?
I felt like the color scheme was fine, but I did find difficulty with shading, and we'll see that later.
Okay.
But I found difficulty with shading because of all the purples.
Yeah.
And that was a challenge for me, because I never do something that's like just strictly purple.
Like monochromatic, yeah. Yeah, I noticed that when I did mine, that like the guy the one I did, like, he had like a good idea for stuff, but his technique wasn't very good, and he shaded with black. This Blue Panda girl, I'm assuming, she looked like she didn't have that problem. Like she didn't mix black into her colors. But overall it's a little bit messy. But I think if she can just improve on that and maybe work on her posing a little bit, she could be way ahead of the curve and like just improve greatly.
Of course.
Oh, I see you're adding some highlights here. And I've noticed with your shading too that you've improved a lot. You used to be kind of afraid to add shadows.
Well, it's because I feel like if I add too much shading, it'll look gross, and if I don't add enough, it won't look proper.
So it's kind of hard for you to find that like balance.
And I'm still working on it as well.
I get that. But yeah, no, totally, like, I love the way you shaded, like, what are those things called on her shoulders? The poofs?
Poofs?
Are they poofs?
They're just poofs. I don't really know what they're named either.
It's just, I don't know, I like the way you shaded those. They look really, they have like a feminine kind of touch to them. Yeah.
And it's the same way in the original picture as well. They also added the poofs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you didn't really change much of the actual costume, but you did add more, like, a lot more life to it, I feel. You cleaned it up. You just gave her this flowing look. And I noticed that you started doing the little bit of airbrushing before you shade. I kind of like that look. I think it looks a little bit... It's not as hard of a contrast between the shadow and, like, the lights. It kind of blends it out, you know?
Well, you taught me that, just like how I taught you blushies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you taught me shading.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't add, like, the blushies. Like, you always, like, shade the shoulders and, like, the cheeks a little bit to have a little bit of a blush to them. And I didn't do that before. But I also drew a lot of, like, guys, you know? And it's kind of... doesn't look as good to draw blushies on them, you know?
Of course. I just feel like it gives it more life. It makes it look like there's blood underneath their skin.
For sure. And then, and you didn't keep the black outline. You went and started coloring in.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good move.
I just wanted it to look...
That really cleaned it up. So, we finished watching your speed drawing. Let's go ahead and look at the actual finished piece. And I think that looks pretty good. But let's check out the a before and after of these two. So it's you also changed the nose kind of look because hers is very triangular, pointy,
going upward.
It reminds you kind of like a Lois Griffin type of nose, or the actual Pearl character from the show. And then you kind of went with a more elongated nose shape, I guess. But it looks adorable. Like, they both look good. This person, Blue Panda, obviously had some skills to begin with, and then you just kind of took it to the next level, and you did it up. So, props to you on this OC redraw, and props to you, Blue Panda, for letting us take your OC and run with it for a while. Now, what, in the closing message, what would you say to this person about improving?
I feel like they should shade a little bit more, because obviously you see with this one that they've shaded, but it's like how I used to shade, where it's just like very thin lines, if you noticed,
along the edges, like the hand in the back. It feels like with their drawing, like, a lot of it looks like they kind of know what they're doing.
Yes.
But when it gets to the hands, which a lot of people have trouble with,
as you saw in the video.
But I mean, you saved it. You know, and the best thing to do with hands is practice them, but look at reference. Like, don't be afraid to look at reference.
Look at your own hand.
Your own hands, like, just pose them and take a picture of them, and then redraw them, and then you can, like, exaggerate them, or tone them back a little bit in order to get the look you want. But that's what I do. I love drawing hands.
I hate drawing hands.
Yeah. It's like my favorite thing. Let's see. And then, what would you change about your piece? If you had to redraw this again, if we lost all the footage, and you had to redraw this thing, I'm not saying we will, but we would lose all the footage. If you had to redraw this thing, what would you change?
I'd probably change the upper torso kind of area, this area, because I felt like that kind of looked bare, and I wanted to add some kind of, like, shiny material right here. Not like shiny, but I mean, like, shimmery.
Blouse and chest, you wanted to add, like, something shimmery?
Yes. Okay. Like, it's kind of hard to describe. It's like a see-through kind of fabric. And I also wanted to do it with this. Yeah. But I felt like, I didn't want to put in that much work.
Well, we do everything half-assed here anyway, so.
Well, saying that, it took me, what, 2 days? 2 days to do this?
We had like 4 hours worth of video, and you guys saw it all in like 5 minutes. But I don't know, I think it turned out great. Happy with what you were able to do with it, and I hope Blue Panda enjoyed it. And that's it. Thanks for watching the second installment of OC Redraw, and the next one's gonna be me. I have to find an OC.
Yep.
Cool beans. All right. So, yeah. Bye, guys. Peace and butt grease.
Bye.